Commander Hyenwu stood quietly at the large window of his spaceship, looking out at the small blue planet that slowly turned in front of them. The planet looked normal to him, white clouds moving around it, brown and green land, and big oceans. That reminded him of his home planet long ago. His spaceship, the Stellar Dominion, had been traveling through space for many months. They were part of the Galactic Council, a group of different alien species that explored the galaxy to find new planets and new types of life. Hyenwu and his crew were good at their job. They had found and studied over 50 different planets, with life on them. "Sir, we finished scanning the planet," said Officer Jihai. She was from a different alien species that had crystal-like skin that sparkled in the ship's lights. Her people were known for being very good at flying spaceships. Through the stars, Hyenwu turned around to face his crew. The bridge of their ship was filled with aliens from many different worlds. Each one looked very different from the others. Some had scales, some had fur, some had skin that changed colors, and some had extra arms or eyes. "What did you find?" Hyenwu asked. Officer Dong Han looked up from his computer screen. He had 4 eyes instead of 2, which made him very good at seeing small details. "Sir, there are smart creatures living on this planet, but they seem very simple. They still use old technology." "How old?" Hyenwu wanted to know. "They burn fuel to make their spaceships fly. They get most of their energy by burning things that come from the ground. Their best weapons are nuclear bombs, but they are very basic ones." Officer Sungmin made clicking sounds with his mouth. In his language, this meant he was laughing. Nuclear weapons? How cute and old-fashioned. My people stopped using those. Thousands of years ago, Hyenwu nodded and wrote notes on his electronic tablet. Every time they found a new species, they had to decide how dangerous they might be. The Galactic Council had a system for this. Class 1 species were very dangerous and could threaten many planets. Class 5 species were not dangerous at all. "What class should we give them?" he asked. Officer Biora was the ship's expert on studying new species. She had long tentacles instead of arms, and she could use all of them to work on different computers at the same time. "I think Class 3, sir. Maybe even Class 4. They are divided into almost 200 different countries, and they fight with each other all the time. They have never had peace on their whole planet for more than a few decades." "That is very strange," said Jihai. "Most smart species learn to work together before they can travel to other planets." Biora continued. "They also seem to enjoy fighting. They have something called sports where they hurt each other for fun. They have wars where millions of them die. They even make movies about fighting and destroying things." Hyenwu thought about this information. In his long career, he had seen many different types of alien species. Some were peaceful and spent their time creating art and music. Others were very smart and focused on science and learning. But he had never seen a species that seemed to enjoy conflict so much. "Are they dangerous to us?" he asked. Dong Han shook his head. "No, sir. Their technology is very weak. Their fastest spaceships would take them hundreds of years to reach the nearest star. They cannot even travel to all the planets in their own solar system yet. Their weapons are also very limited," added Sungmin. "Their nuclear bombs are powerful enough to destroy cities, but they could not harm our ship. Our shields would protect us easily." Hyenwu made his decision. "We'll classify them as Class 3. Not dangerous, but we should watch them. Put a monitoring satellite near their planet so we can see what they do. Maybe in a few hundred years, they will become more peaceful and advanced." The crew began to prepare their ship to leave. They had many more star systems to explore, and this planet did not seem very interesting or important. The humans, that was what the aliens called them, were just another primitive species that might or might not survive long enough to join the galactic community. As they got ready to travel to the next star system, none of the aliens noticed something important. On one of the computer screens, numbers were flashing that showed what gases were in the planet's air. The computer was trying to warn them about something, but everyone was too busy preparing to leave. Officer Minho, who was young and new to the crew, saw the flashing numbers. He thought there might be something wrong with the computer. "I should check this later," he thought to himself. He did not know that this small detail would soon change everything they thought they knew about the humans. The Stellar Dominion powered up its engines and prepared to jump to hyperspace, leaving the small blue planet behind. In their official report, Earth was just another unremarkable world with a primitive species that posed no threat to anyone. They were completely wrong. 3 days had passed since the Stellar Dominion had left Earth behind. The crew was now traveling through the darkness of space toward their next destination. Most of the aliens were resting or doing their normal daily work. But Minho could not stop thinking about those flashing numbers he had seen on the computer screen. Minho was the youngest member of the crew. He had blue skin that could change color when he was worried or excited. Right now, his skin was getting darker blue because he was concerned about something. He had only been working on spaceships for 2 years, but he was very careful about checking all the computer systems. I should look at those numbers again, he said to himself. He walked over to the science station and turned on the computer that analyzed the air on different planets. When he saw the numbers, his skin turned almost purple with shock. The computer screen showed nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, and small amounts of other gases. Minho checked the numbers 3 times, but they stayed the same. His breathing mask automatically gave him more air because he was getting scared. This cannot be right, he whispered. He knew that oxygen was dangerous. Most aliens could only breathe air that had 8% to 12% oxygen. If there was more than 16% oxygen in the air, it would kill most species in the galaxy within minutes, but the computer was saying that Earth's air had 21% oxygen. Minho called out to his boss, Officer Dong Hyen, who was reading reports at another station. I think our air testing computer is broken. Dong Hyen walked over to Minho's station. His 4 eyes looked at the screen carefully. What is wrong with it? The oxygen numbers, sir. It says Earth's air has 21% oxygen. That would kill everyone on our ship very quickly. Dong Hyen's eyes opened wide. He had never seen numbers like this before. Run a test on the computer to see if it is working correctly. Minho spent the next 20 minutes testing every part of the computer system. He checked the sensors, the wires, the memory, and the calculation programs. Everything was working perfectly. The computer was not broken, Sir Minho said quietly. The computer is working fine. The numbers are correct. Dong Hyen called Officer Biora to come and look at the data. When she saw the numbers, her tentacles began moving very quickly, a sign that she was extremely worried. This is impossible, she whispered. How can smart creatures live in air that would kill them? The oxygen would burn their lungs. It would poison their blood. Commander Hyen-woo heard the discussion and came over to see what was happening. He saw the data on the screen. His scaled face became very serious. But sir, said Biora, according to our biological scans, the humans do not just survive in this air. They need it. Their whole breathing system is designed to use this much oxygen. The bridge became very quiet. All the aliens were thinking about what this meant. If humans needed air that would kill most other species, then humans were very different from anything they had ever seen before. Let me understand this, said Commander Han-woo slowly. These humans live in air that would be like poison gas to us, and they need this poison gas to stay alive. Yes, sir, said Minho, and there is more. I checked the gravity on their planet. It is 1.3 times stronger than what most of us are used to. We would consider crushing weight they think is normal. Officer Sunmin stopped making his clicking sounds. He was no longer laughing. Commander, if they have evolved to not only survive but need these deadly conditions, ... Then we made a big mistake when we said they were not dangerous, Commander. Hyen-woo finished the sentence. Biora was looking at more data on her computer. Sir, I am finding other strange things about their planet. The temperature changes are extreme. In some places, it gets so hot that water turns to steam. In other places, it gets so cold that the air itself would freeze solid. And they live in all these places, added Dong-Hen. Our scans show humans living in hot deserts, on frozen mountains, in deep caves, and even on small islands in the middle of huge oceans. Commander Heianwu felt a chill run through his body. In all his years of exploring the galaxy, he had never found a species that could survive in such extreme conditions. Most aliens needed very specific environments to stay alive. Their planets were usually mild and comfortable. "We need to study them more carefully," he said. "I want to know everything about these humans, how they live, what they eat, what they do for fun, how they fight, how they think, everything." Sir asked Minho, "Should we still classify them?" As Class 3, Commander Hyanwu looked at the data again. Creatures that needed poison gas to breathe and lived under crushing gravity were not ordinary. They were not weak or primitive. They were something completely different. "I am not sure anymore," he said. "Begin a complete study of their world. I want to know what kind of place could create such creatures, and I want to know what else we missed about them." The crew began their work with new respect for the humans. They were starting to realize that surviving on Earth might be much harder than surviving anywhere else in the galaxy. For the next 7 days, the crew of Stellar Dominion worked day and night to learn everything they could about humans. What they discovered made them more scared with each passing hour. Officer Biora was studying what humans did for fun. She had never seen anything like it before. Her tentacles were shaking as she showed the others what she had found on the main screen. "Commander," she said, her voice trembling, "look at what they call entertainment. This is called boxing, where two humans hit each other in the face repeatedly until one of them cannot stand up anymore." The aliens watched in horror as two humans punched each other over and over again. Blood was coming from their faces, but they kept fighting. The crowd around them was cheering and seemed to be enjoying the violence. "This is another thing they do for fun," Biora continued. "They call it football, but it is not about kicking a ball. Look." On the screen, large humans wearing protective gear crashed into each other at high speeds. The impact sounds were so loud that several aliens on the bridge stepped backwards. "And this," Biora said, now barely able to speak, "they call extreme sports. They throw themselves off mountains with only a piece of cloth to slow them down. They ride down dangerous slopes on small boards. They jump into water from heights that would kill most of us." Officer Dong Haeon had been studying human bodies and biology. His 4 eyes were wide with disbelief. "Sir, their muscle density is incredible. Remember, they live under gravity that is 1.3 times what we consider normal. This has made them extremely strong. Average human could probably lift 2 of us at the same time." "There is more," said Medical Officer Taehyun. He was the ship's doctor and expert on how different species' bodies worked. "They regularly drink ethanol for fun. Ethanol is a chemical that we use to clean our equipment. It would dissolve our internal organs, but they drink it and laugh." The bridge was completely silent except for the humming of the ship's engines. Every alien was trying to understand what they were learning. "They also do something called sunbathing," Taehyun continued. "They deliberately expose their skin to radiation from their star. Radiation that would give us cancer, they use to change the color of their skin, and they think it looks good." Minho had been studying old human history. What he found was even more disturbing. "Commander, I have been looking at how they used to hunt animals for food. They have something called persistence hunting, where they chase animals by running after them for hours or even days." "That is impossible," said Officer Sungmin. "No creature can run for days. Humans can," Minho replied. "They keep running until the animal becomes so tired that it falls down and cannot move anymore. Then they kill it. So they can run faster than most animals over long distances." Officer Ji Hai had been studying human wars and conflicts. "Sir, their fighting methods are unlike anything we have seen in the galaxy. They have something called scorched earth tactics, where they destroy their own cities and food to prevent enemies from using them." She showed them pictures of burned cities and destroyed farmland. They would rather destroy everything than let their enemies win. They have also created weapons that could destroy all life on their planet. And somehow, they have had these weapons for decades without using them. Commander Hyanwu was looking at medical data about human bodies. "Look at this," he said. "They have something called an immune system that fights diseases inside their bodies. Diseases that would kill entire populations of other species. Humans can survive. Some humans even become stronger after surviving these diseases. And their pain tolerance, added Taeon. They can continue functioning even when badly injured. We have videos of humans with broken bones still fighting, still running, still working. They seem to ignore pain that would paralyze most species. Biora discovered something that made everyone even more worried. Commander, they have something called contact sports, where hitting each other is the main goal. Rugby, hockey, martial arts, they have dozens of different ways to hurt each other, and they do it for fun. They also have endurance challenges, she continued. Some humans try to stay awake for days, or go without food for weeks, or expose themselves to extreme cold or heat. They do these things to test themselves. Officer Donghain made another discovery. Sir, their children play games that simulate war. They start learning about fighting and strategy when they are very young. Even their toys are often weapons or vehicles for fighting. Minho found something that scared him the most. Commander, they have people called athletes who train their bodies to do incredible things. Some can run faster than our vehicles. Others can lift weights that would crush us. They train for years to become as strong and fast as possible. Why do they do this? Asked Sungmin. Because they enjoy it, Minho replied. They like to see how strong they can become. They compete with each other to see who is the strongest, the fastest, the most skilled. Commander Hyenwu looked at all the data they had collected. Humans lived in poisonous air, under crushing gravity, on a planet with extreme weather. They drank chemicals, exposed themselves to radiation, and spent their time hurting each other for fun. They trained their bodies to become as dangerous as possible, and they had created weapons that could destroy worlds. We need to keep studying them, he said quietly. I think we have made a terrible mistake about what these humans really are. Officer Sungmin was working late at his communication station when he accidentally picked up a strange signal from Earth. The signal was different from the normal television shows and radio broadcasts they had been studying. This signal was encrypted and seemed to be coming from a military source. Commander Sungmin called out, I am receiving some kind of military transmission from the humans. Commander Hyeonwoo came over to look at the signal. Can you decode it? Yes, sir. It appears to be a live video feed of something they call military training exercises. The main screen lit up with images that made every alien on the bridge freeze in terror. They were watching human soldiers moving through what looked like a nightmare landscape. The humans were carrying heavy equipment and weapons while running through mud, climbing over walls and crawling under sharp wire. How much weight are they carrying? Asked Medical Officer Tae-Hon. Minho quickly calculated the numbers. Sir, each human soldier is carrying about 60 pounds of equipment. That would be like us carrying 3 times our own body weight. They are running with it, whispered Officer Biora. Look, they have been running for miles, and they are not even breathing hard. On the screen, the human soldiers were now climbing up a tall wooden wall, using only ropes. They moved quickly and smoothly, as if the wall was not even difficult for them. When they reached the top, they jumped down to the other side without any fear. This is not training, said Officer Donghain. This is impossible. No species in the galaxy could do what we are watching. The video feed continued to show more exercises. The humans crawled through tunnels filled with mud and water. They swam across rivers while carrying their heavy equipment. They ran through areas filled with smoke and loud explosions. Commander said Ji-Hai, I have found more video feeds. They call these war games, where they practice fighting large battles. The new images showed thousands of human soldiers working together in complex military operations. They used vehicles, aircraft, and weapons in coordinated attacks that demonstrated a level of tactical thinking that impressed even the experienced aliens. Look at their strategy, said Biora. They are using multiple types of attacks at the same time: ground forces, air support, electronic warfare. They coordinate everything perfectly. Commander Hyeonwoo studied the tactical displays. Their military doctrine is more advanced than most galactic civilizations. They have studied warfare for thousands of years and turned it into a science. Minho made another disturbing discovery. Sir, I found something they call Special Forces training. These are their elite soldiers. The video showed humans doing things that seemed impossible. They were operating underwater for long periods, surviving in frozen mountains, and fighting in deserts where the temperature would kill most aliens. These special humans move through environments that would require full protective suits for any other species. They're operating in conditions that would be considered extreme hazard zones for us, said Taehyun. And they are doing it with minimal equipment. There is more, Minho continued. They have something called survival training, where they practice living in the wilderness with no food or equipment for weeks. Officer Sung-min found something that made his clicking sound stop completely. Commander, they have recreational activities that simulate their military training. They call it paintball, where they shoot each other with paint bullets for fun. The screen showed humans running through forests, hiding behind trees, and shooting at each other with weapons. That looked very real. They were using military tactics and strategies, but they were laughing and enjoying themselves. What we consider advanced military training, they do for entertainment, said Biora quietly. Look at this, added Dong Haeon. Their children play games that teach them about warfare. They have toy weapons, strategy games, and video games that simulate military combat. Commander Hyeon-woo felt his blood becoming cold. They start learning about warfare when they are still young. Their entire culture is built around conflict and survival. Officer Ji-hai discovered something even more frightening. Sir, I have been analyzing their military equipment. Their weapons are designed to function in the extreme conditions of their planet. They work in their poisonous atmosphere, under their crushing gravity, in their extreme temperatures. And if their weapons work on their death world, said Taehyun, they would work anywhere in the galaxy. The aliens watched more footage of human military exercises. They saw soldiers jumping out of aircraft, fighting in urban environments, and conducting operations in complete darkness. Every exercise was designed to prepare the humans for the worst possible conditions. Commander, said Minho, I think. I understand now. Their planet is not just their home. It is their training ground. Everything about Earth, the dangerous air, the crushing gravity, the extreme weather, the predators, the diseases, it has all been training them. Training them for what? Asked Sungmin. For war, replied Commander Hyeon-woo. Their entire evolution has been preparing them to be the perfect warriors. They are not just tough because they live on a difficult planet, their death world. Survivors who have spent millions of years becoming the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. The bridge was silent as every alien realized the same terrible truth. They had not discovered a primitive species. They had found a planet full of warriors who had been training for war their entire lives. Commander Haeun-woo called all his senior officers to meet in the main conference room. The room had never felt so tense before. Every alien sat quietly. Looking worried and scared, they had spent 2 weeks studying humans, and what they learned had changed everything they thought they knew about the galaxy. After looking at all our data, Commander Hyeon-woo began. I am changing the classification of humans from Class 3 to Class 1. The room exploded with shock sounds from different alien species. Some made clicking noises, others whistled, and a few changed colors rapidly. Class 1 was the highest threat level in the galaxy. Was only used for species that could destroy entire star systems. But sir, said Officer Biora, her tentacles moving nervously, they have not even learned how to travel faster than light yet. How can they be Class 1? Commander Haeon-woo looked at each of his officers. Because we have been thinking about this. Wrong. We thought that advanced technology made a species dangerous. But these humans have something much more dangerous than technology. He pressed a button, and the main screen showed all the data they had collected. Pictures of humans fighting, surviving in deadly conditions, and training for war filled the screen. Look at what we have learned, he continued. They breathe air that would kill most of us. They live under gravity that would crush us. Our planet tries to kill them every day with extreme weather, deadly diseases, and dangerous animals. And they do not just survive, they thrive. Officer Dong-heen nodded slowly. Every challenge their world has given them has made them stronger. They have turned survival into an art form. More than that, said Commander Haeun-woo, they have turned their entire civilization into a military training program. They fight for sport. They compete to see who is strongest. They practice war games for fun. Their children learn strategy and tactics before they learn to read. Medical officer Taehyun spoke up. Sir, their bodies are weapons. They are stronger than most species in the galaxy. They can survive injuries that would kill us. They can go without food, water, or sleep longer than should be possible. Ah-da-da-da-da-da-da. And their minds, added Officer G. High. They think about warfare in ways that are more advanced than most galactic military academies. They have been perfecting the art of fighting for thousands of years. Commander Heian-Wu continued his explanation. We classify species based on their ability to threaten galactic stability. Technology is just one way to do that. Okay, but humans have something else. They have been shaped by their world into perfect predators. Suddenly, alarms started ringing throughout. The sound was loud and urgent, making every alien jump in surprise. Commander, shouted Officer G. High from the bridge, we have objects approaching our position. They appear to be human spacecraft. Everyone rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, they could see several small ships moving toward them. The ships looked primitive compared to alien technology, but they were moving with clear purpose and intelligence. How did they find us? Asked Officer Sung-min. Our stealth systems should make us invisible to their technology. Maybe their technology is better than we thought, said Minho. Or maybe they are better at detecting things than we realized. Commander Heian-Wu felt panic rising in his chest. First contact with humans was the last thing he wanted. If humans were as dangerous as he now believed, meeting them could be a disaster for the entire galaxy. All hands, prepare for immediate departure, he ordered. Maximum stealth. Under no circumstances are we to make contact with these humans. Crew worked quickly to prepare the ship for faster-than-light travel. But as they worked, they could see the human ships getting closer. The humans had definitely detected them and were trying to intercept them. Sir, said Officer Biora, what? If they are friendly, what if they just want to meet us? Commander Heian-Wu looked at all the data they had collected about humans. Look at their history. Every time two groups of humans have met, it has led to conflict. They fight with their own species constantly. What do you think they would do? Two aliens? But sir, said Minho, maybe they would be different with us. Maybe they would want to learn and be peaceful. Or maybe, said Commander Heian-Wu, they would see us as threats to be eliminated or resources to be conquered. Remember, these are creatures who have spent millions of years learning to survive by being more dangerous than everything else on their planet. The ship's engines powered up and they began to move away from Earth as they prepared to jump to hyperspace. Commander Heian-Wu began writing his final report to the Galactic Council. Species designation. Human planet designation. Earth Sol System. Classification. Class 1. Maximum threat level. Immediate recommendations. Complete quarantine of the Sol System. No contact under any circumstances. These beings have evolved on a death world that has turned them into the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. They breathe poison gas, live under crushing gravity, and treat deadly conditions as normal. Their entire civilization is a military training program. They are not just warriors. They are death world survivors who have been shaped into perfect killing machines. If they ever leave their planet and join galactic civilization, they will either save us all or destroy us all. We are not prepared for either possibility. Humanity must never know they are not alone. As the ship jumped into hyperspace, leaving Earth far behind, none of the crew noticed the small human probe that had managed to record their departure. A probe that would eventually return to Earth with data that would change everything.